Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm making some changes on what I'm doing, and it's not really a change that is really massive. It's just instead of coming on and reading like each day's meditation on the same day that I write it, I'm waiting a day. That means on like yesterday when I did the meditation, when I wrote it down, I'm reading it today because it's easier for me and I don't have as much time blocks as I did before because now my evening activities are starting up with gusto. I've got choir rehearsals, I've got a playing rehearsals, and today I'm actually going back to dancing, so I'm going to be busy. I've got a lot of stuff going on and a lot of activities that are kind of for my well-being. So I just thought, okay, I'm going to change this up a little bit. So, the meditation that I'm reading today is the one I did last night. Oh, that was my husband sneezing. The one I wrote last night, and then the meditation from today, I'll write tonight because I'm finding that I am much better at writing, at just basically centering myself just before I go to bed than when I am like during the day, in the middle of the day, because I've got so many things going on and I've got so much I have to do, and I'm trying to maintain my physical fitness, meaning I do stretches and movements and stuff, and I also walk a lot. So all of these things kind of take up time, and so I have to find a way to sort of projectively, productively manage my time so that I can get everything done when I need to do it and not be sitting there going, turning my gears about, oh, do I have enough time to do it? Or did I get it done? Or, mm, you know how it is. My husband's having a sneezing fit, so hopefully he'll feel better once he blows his nose. But anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I've decided that today's meditation will be done tonight before I go to bed, and then I will read it tomorrow. And so yesterday's meditation I wrote last night and I'm reading it today, and then, and then I'll just start doing it that way. It makes it much easier for me. It's a lot more conducive to me getting centered, and it also helps. Um One of the things that I notice is that when I start playing with this, I can't go to sleep. Either I'm seeing stuff in the news feed or I'm seeing stuff in news or whatever, and I am like getting myself worked up. And when I do the meditation just before I go to bed, I find myself more relaxed when I actually want to go to sleep. So this is like helping me as in terms of dealing with everything that's going on. And so that I'm not picking this up before I go to bed, and instead I'm doing the picking up a pencil and writing and doing the meditation. So so that is what is going to be going on with this. And I'm going to continue to do cards because it seems as though people like the cards. People like me pulling cards, which is really kind of interesting because I've never really considered myself to be a tarot card reader in the sense. I'm just somebody who's learning it. And so whatever I get with these cards, it is for entertainment only. And if I don't say it in the video, it's just because I forgot. But everything that I do with tarot is entertainment. And boy, sometimes I'm really entertained by it. So that is um, that is the update on what's going on. Um, and I'm going to go ahead and read through the meditation. I might pull some cards at the end. I don't know. The meditations are considerably shorter than they were because I would write for an hour. I would just get into it and I would just start writing, and and an hour later I was still writing. And now I'm kind of doing it. Moving it down to about half an hour to 15 minutes to half an hour of writing. And that just gives me a little bit, I don't get burnt out with it, and then I'm doing it and I'm having fun with it, and and it sort of is a balance for me. So the videos are a little bit shorter than they were before, but they're also, when I throw in a little bit of cards and stuff like that, then about 20 minutes. So, but anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and start this, and I'm going to read the day meditation. This is from last night. This is what I wrote last night. So I wrote January 22nd. I know today's January 23rd, but as you know, this is how I'm going to do it so that I can really keep up. So I'm going to post the date on the title, but it's going to be the date that I wrote the stuff and not the date that I'm actually reading it. So hopefully that clears everything up, and then you can say, okay, yeah, alrighty, we understand what's going on, and no problem. Anyway, so this is day number 12, so it was recorded last night, January 22nd, 2026. And I started by writing. I just saw a story today and had a beautiful message. It was one of the beauty. It was a beautiful story about couple of copper rings and a promise that someone made when they were a child. Nigel said that is one of the beautiful parts of memories, of time gone by and the grasping hold of something beautiful. I said sometimes I really need to see stories because they have deeper lessons, with heartfelt and ideas and promises. And Nigel says, promises are something valuable. They are a reflection of the past you once were, but also a part of who you are today. Oftentimes, people lose themselves because they forget the positive parts of who they were As you grew from childhood to adulthood, sometimes you forget what had once been. When you remember those moments, you your heart suddenly opens to what might be or what could be. And I said, it sounds like promises and memories are significant. If that is the case, what can you tell me about Salt Lake City? Why does that memory spring to mind? Nigel says, because it was a memory of a memory. I said, come again? Nigel says, the memory from your childhood emerged from a previous life or of an experience that had happened during your previous life. When you expressed with absolute certainty that you had been there, you recalled that you could not help but recall it. But it was there. Something was real, but also something that you could not explain. The memory was of a memory. You revealed something from memory. And now, can't read my own handwriting here. Now that you are older, it is a recollection of something that happened over 2 lifetimes. That one and your present. I said, I've always believed that reincarnation exists or is real. Nigel says, yes, it is. You have lived before, and sometimes you notice things that are more or less recollections of things that had happened before. This is where time tends to fade. You are having an experience where you recall something, a certain time on a place that seems real to you. I said, I remember it happened once with a song. It was a Barry Manilow song called Even Now. My brother said I didn't know the words to it. To some extent, he was right. I had not heard that song but a couple of times. But yet, when the song played again, I knew the lyrics. It was as though I was trying to prove something, but I couldn't consciously remember why it was that I knew the song. Later, I really studied the lyrics, and they had a wonderful message and a beautiful melody. To this day, I could not figure out why it was or how it was I knew the song. Nigel said it was a song that your soul knew. Sometimes it becomes important for people to allow their soul to give them something. This, if anything, was why you knew the song and could sing it. I said it was strange, but what is it that I feel familiarity about a place or a song that I did not fully know? And Nigel says, you have almost psychic sense about you. It is not just a question of predicting the future, but also about the relevance of past events and experiences. Sometimes you go beyond time and can recall things from the future, which is sometimes called flashes or predictions. But sometimes you get messages from the future in the past. It was why you knew that song and why you were able to recognize the lyrics, although in the present moment you did not know the words. Simply put, your assertions about Salt Lake City came from the past, but the lyrics to the song came from the future. You were just open to those messages and were able to understand the underlying messages from them. This is why you experience both events at around that age. You have said that you had always been aware of spiritual experiences, but now the enlightenment of some of these things are now coming to you, and you will experience more of them as more time passes you by. And I said, that's wild. I never really thought any of this was possible. Nigel says, it is. In the days to come, you will experience even more things. Once the door opens, it is very difficult to close it. We will explore these things together. And I said, I look forward to it. Yeah. So, yeah, this was a very interesting thing. I remember that event, and somehow it came to mind. And I think off and on throughout my life, this event has come to mind, about that song and about how I knew the lyrics, even though I had not heard the song before, or I had not heard it repeated many times. Sometimes what happens is you hear a melody, and and if you're into music and stuff, you hear a melody, and that melody sticks in your mind. It's like getting a song stuck in your head, and you remember it. But in this instance, I did not remember that song. I only remembered that my brother was saying, "Oh, you don't know the words to this song." And I was like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I was so adamant. It was like the same thing with the Salt Lake City thing. I was absolutely adamant. Yes, I knew the words to the song, but I could not remember having heard that song before. But yet, he put the record on, turned it on, started playing the song, and I started singing. How did I know that? Was it my guides telling me that? So I want to pull some cards on that. I want to see if this was um, if it was imagination, or if it was an actual psychic or message from my guides. Because what I experienced while singing that song was that I knew the words, but yet I don't recall having heard that song before. So it's like somebody starts playing a piece of music and you automatically know it, or somebody is sitting at the piano and they can only play chopsticks, and yet then they start playing Mozart. I mean, it's that kind of feel. So let's see what the cards have to say with regards to this. Okay, the question seems a bit convoluted, but I think that the guides are going to tell me what I need to know. So with regards to knowing something, when you mentally or physically think that you don't know it, what is it about that has meaning? How is it that this has meaning when you haven't heard it before, or seen it before, or what have you? So this is going to be really interesting. Is it psychic? Is it, as Nigel said, perceived notions of the future, or is it just imagination? Because I don't think it's imagination. I think that having heard that song, and then coming in and saying, you know, that you know something, even if you've never heard it before. So let's see what this cards say. And yeah. So what I get here is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is the harvest. This is the I guess the idea of the song. I guess you could say it is the knowledge, or the collecting of knowledge of a certain thing, even if it's a song, or if it's a place, or anything. So it's that knowledge, that internal knowledge that you have, and you've collected it, you've harvested it, you have it in your in your in yourself. And it's crossed by the King of Wands. And I mean, look at this guy. I don't know. How to get the cheat sheet. See, I'm learning. I'm still learning. Okay. Let me see. It's in here with my rods and stuff. So, okay. King of Wands says, King of Wands, strong, optimistic, energetic, confident. Okay. The song, when I sang that song, there was that level of confidence that I had. So, was it that I was confident that this was something I was manifesting? Was there confidence in that I was manifesting this idea that that I knew what was in the lyrics to the song before when my brother turned on the record player and started playing it. And I say record player. See, this shows my age here, 50 something years old. Okay. So that is the confidence element that I had going into this. The underarching energy is the Ace of Cups. This is like a new beginning. So whatever it is that's going on, whatever it is that I'm experiencing with regards to songs or places or memories or recollections or something, this is just the beginning of it. So this kind of coincides with the Sun card that I got yesterday as an outcome card, which surprised the you know what out of me. The last time I did the video, I got the Sun card, and I think that this is also kind of illuminating that idea that that this is not the end of all of this. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of me seeing like little instances in my life where I made comments or I made observations or I said something that seemed completely out of whack but wasn't. In the immediate past, we have the four of swords, and maybe this is like as in the past, the four of swords is. I'm not sure if this is a maybe it's letting go of the old stuff. I'm a little bit I'm a little bit bewildered by this card. But it could be letting go of the old habits of allowing people to influence what it is that I experienced or what it is that I felt. Because keep in mind, I was a little girl when I had these experiences or these flashes. I had when all this stuff happened with the song and with the place. I was a little girl, and so I was very, very influenced by those around me. And so maybe this is that letting go of that, and this is that saying, okay, this is in the past. This sort of spiritual death, if you will, of me because I just thought it was just silliness or just my imagination. But maybe this is the passing of that idea or that notion that this is, it's a passing of that notion that I had. And maybe it's just telling me that there is more to it. And so since this is in the past, then maybe okay. The overarching energy is the justice card. And, people think of justice as in law. And I mean, even she's got the scales. So the scales of justice, if you will. But in this instance, maybe the justice is by me, with my thing, is my coming to accept what it is that I am able to do, what my abilities are in this spiritual collaboration that I have with my guides and with spirit and what have you. And maybe this is my finding that justice, um, and accepting that I have these abilities or I have this uh, that I was able to recognize these things in me that maybe the song or maybe the Salt Lake City thing, maybe all of that stuff is just me accepting that I was able to do this as a young child, and this is that just dessert, if you will. That now at 55, I am embracing that I have this ability and that I'm able to do this, and that maybe this is the justice that I have been waiting for. In the immediate future, we have the World card, some more major arcana here. This is, to me, this is like the world is the ending and beginning of the tarot, the end of the tarot major arcana. The world is, I think, the 21st card. There's 22 major arcana cards in the deck, and this is the last card in the major arcanas because you start with 0 with the Fool, and then you go through to 22. And this is 21. This says 21. So this is the end of that probably the end of that notion that this was just me and my overactive imagination as a child. So this is the end of that notion that what I experienced wasn't just me having experience that was just me blabbing off something when I was a kid, but instead that there was something there. There was something hidden beneath all of that that I had to find. Internally, we have the Three of Wands, and this is either the ship coming in or going out. And so, to me, this is the idea that that this is for me, this is the idea. What comes to my mind is that this is the idea of the ship coming in, that I am finding this and I'm going, oh, this is like really cool and I really like this and I'm really happy with it. And so that ship is coming into harbor and I'm able to embrace it. Um, Externally is the Ace of Swords, which is the sword of truth. This is the truth emerging. So whatever it is that's going to come out, it's going to come out and it's going to be the truth. And so what my guides tell me is going to be the truth about why I had these experiences or why I made these statements or why I thought I knew the song and then I came out and sang it and I knew the song. So I think that this is going to, sometimes the truth is sometimes painful, but I think in this instance that it is going to be enlightening and it's going to reemphasize this idea that I have this ability. Hopes and fears is the Tower. Well, yeah, this is me being absolutely afraid or terrified that people are going to think I'm totally nuts. And that's what I've already experienced. So that's sort of reemphasizing all of the things that had happened to me in the past. So that is the fear that I have, or the hopes and fears that I have, is that this is that people are going to think, oh, he's just crazy, totally, that kind of thing. And the outcome is the Fool. This is stepping into new territory, stepping into into a new situation or a new sense of enlightenment. And you know that the Fool is the 0. This is the first card, and then I got the World here, but I also got the Tower. I got the World. I got Justice. So there's four major arcana here. Out of 78 cards, I got for a 10-card spread. 10-card spread, I got 4 majors. It's pretty. That's pretty good. So at any rate, so whatever it is that happened, and whatever it is that happened with regards to all of this, this is going to be a adventure. Whatever it is that whatever it is that comes up, whatever experiences or so that I've had in the past, these things are going to emerge again, and there's going to be a reason for it. So that is basically what I've got for you today. I think this is becoming a learning curve for me personally as to where I'm going, and I know that talking about myself is like really weird because I usually don't like talking about myself, but I'm thinking that this is probably my guides are telling me, well, you have to talk about yourself a little bit because this is your meditation challenge and that you have to do this for yourself. And if you share this with other people, then other people might be able to be inspired to do their own meditation challenge and move into that realm. So maybe there's a point to all of this. Maybe I'll find out in a couple of days or tonight or whenever I do the next written meditation that something is coming up with this. But at any rate, that is where we're at right now. So I am going to say thank you for watching. And I hope that if it resonates, please let me know. And yeah, hope you have a great day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. And as always, namaste.